we have the opportunity within this industry to impact the lives of millions and millions of people. What I get off most on in putting books onto the New York Times bestsellers list is the impact that it has on the lives of those who read the book. Most people, most consumers don't know who I am. I don't care. But 3 years ago, I said, I can no longer sit and watch the industry fall apart. I have to do something that's going to have a greater impact on society as a whole. Normally when I present, because I'm an introvert, I heavily rely on media and on slides. So this is actually the first presentation I've ever done with just a piece of paper for my notes. I'm very naked today for you. But I'm doing that intentionally. I had the opportunity to come in today and do the presentation I did for TED in Calgary. It's all available online. I think Larry's going to send you a link on that. And I talked to Larry last night and I said, you know, I'd like to come in and just have a basic conversation with you. I don't want to preach. I just want to have a conversation because I genuinely care about the industry. Now, I say that the industry is falling apart, and I say that you guys have not adopted this new civic mindset. But it's not just you that have had this problem, it's me. I've been guilty, even over the last 3 years, presenting my pendulum presentation of being inauthentic myself. As a deep introvert, it's been very difficult for me to connect with an audience. I've been forcing myself over the last 9 months to really connect. Now, when I spoke at Engage today last year, Engage had the Dalai Lama, Sir Richard Branson, Stephen Covey, and a gentleman by the name of Sean Stevens. It was a phenomenal experience. It took me in front of a couple thousand people. It was just a really great opportunity for me. But the real opportunity for me was meeting Sean Stevens, Greg Habstreet, and Karush Asaf. And actually, last year here at Sang, Karush, Greg, and Sean and Sean is he's known as the 3-foot giant. He's the midget in a wheelchair that has the brittle bone disease. And we sat at dinner. And Sean said to me, he said, Mike, why do you hide behind your media? Because my presentation, if you've seen Pendulum, you know that it is a media-heavy presentation. And I said, what do you mean? And Karush said to me, he said, Mike, you're one of the best storytellers that I know. Why don't you just connect with the audience and be who you are? And Greg Habstreet, who had previously attended my Book Publishing 2 course, where we teach Myers-Briggs and other psychographic things, I knew what his Myers-Briggs temperament type was, and I said, well, Greg, you're an introvert. You can appreciate this. As an introvert, when I'm up on stage, I have to perform. I have to be out of body and have an out-of-body experience when I'm performing because I can't push my energy out to the audience. And Greg looked at me and he said, bullshit. He said, that's nice. What you need to do is figure out how to manage your energy. So I really took what Greg and Karush and what Shauna challenged me to do, and I've been really forcing myself to look internally at my own authenticity, at who I really am from an emotional standpoint, not just from an intellectual standpoint. I can stand up here all day and give you stats and information. If you want to talk to me, I can do that, but it's not who I am. And that is core to the problem of this industry. The reason the industry is falling apart is that most of the gurus in the space are transactional. They're all about sales. Well, we had this conversation yesterday with the panel about guruship. I'm here to tell you that in a civic cycle, guruship is dead. If you are a guru in a civic cycle, you will lose your business. What people are looking for today is leadership. And the difference between a guru and a leader is that a guru is the almighty guru. Look at me and listen to me. Do what I say. And the leader says, here's what I think. Why don't you give me your feedback? And we start a conversation. Most gurus who sell from the stage, they use manipulative, emotional tactics. The reason the industry doesn't work is that we've been bastardizing our lists by cross-promoting each other and selling in the exact same way. speakers who get up on stage, who sell, typically sell based on energy and emotion. And for those of you that understand Myers-Briggs, they sell to the sensing perceiving type, what I define as the spontaneous. These people buy based on energy. And the extroverted intuitive feelers, I define them as the humanists, who make emotional decisions also based on energy. It's great that you know who your audience is from an energy standpoint. It's great to sell to them. But what happens is most people in this space today sell products that have been developed for the sensing, judging type, what I define as the methodical, which is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from the intuitive feelers and the sensing, perceiving types who are buying the products. I have heard people, even this weekend from the stage, say that books and content don't sell. And they don't work to convince people of your message. That's not true. I've heard speakers say, only 1% of my audience who buy this product will use it. But it's your responsibility as the audience who buy it to use it. Guess what? It's a bunch of horseshit. If you don't have at least 20% of your people using what you sell, you don't understand your audience. If you don't have 20% of the people coming to your website converting, you don't understand your audience. In a civic cycle, it is not about push. It's about pull. In a civic cycle, we don't want to be sold. We want to develop a relationship with you. But all too often in this industry, it's all about push. I'm going to get you to make one sale, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. This is true from the stage. This is true from the internet marketing field, which is also falling apart. In my opinion, whether you're on stage or whether you're selling online, it's not about selling. It's about relationship building. The internet is not a marketing and sales tool. The internet is a relationship building device. How do we develop relationships? Through conversation. I hate squeeze pages. I hate squeeze pages. Because not one of you in this audience is going to run up to me and say, give me your card before I'll give you more information. Because that's not what we do in conversation. So why are we doing it online? In a civic cycle, it's about the relationship. It's about conversation. Everything that we do is about that conversation. You know, it's interesting, a lot of the older gurus in the space are using social media, which was developed for this civic cycle. But they're using it in a direct marketing approach. Social media is not meant to sell. Social media is intended to develop a relationship. If you are using social media to sell, you are bastardizing the space and you're creating spam. I believe in this industry. I believe that we have the opportunity to change the world if we would simply stop looking at things in terms of the financial outcome, the transactional relationship that's occurring today, and we look at it in terms of how can I deliver value for the other person? How can I deepen my relationship with them? I've spoken at many marketing conferences, and I say that websites should be converting at 20 to 40%. And a lot of internet marketers have pretty deep disagreement with me on that, and they come and have conversations with me. But what it's an illustration of, in my opinion, is a lack of understanding of who your audience is. In a civic cycle, we have the responsibility to understand both demographically and psychographically who our audience is, how they think, how they act, and how we can deliver our products to them. Instead of selling to the sensing perceiving type from the stage or the intuitive feeler a methodical product, what we should be selling to the sensing perceiving type spontaneous is products intentionally developed for the spontaneous type. If you develop a product that is developed for the methodical type, then sell it to the methodical type. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're delivering to our customers exactly the experience we promised them. I'm actually going to get it done a little early, Larry. I think Carl Rogers said it best when he said, "What I am is good enough, if only I would be it openly." And what you and this industry can be is massive and huge and impactful, if only you would be it openly.